What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Today is transfer deadline day. Shaw Sports News Takeover. We're back live and direct. 3 shows today, potentially more. We will go live straight away if a deal gets done outside of the time that we are doing the shows. Big up to everyone for tuning in. We're already in Granit Xhaka mode. I've gone straight in, so it should slow down a little bit. Big up to each and every one of you who tuned in for the watch-along last night. Again, fantastic numbers. One of the biggest Arsenal watch-alongs out there in terms of numbers at the moment. So really appreciate everyone's brilliant support on the channel. Make sure you like the videos today and subscribe if you haven't already, and all of that good stuff. We're going to talk about the game, and we're going to quickly go over the game yesterday. But obviously, it's transfers, and it's all about what is happening today. Who are Arsenal going to bring in? Will we get the winger? Will we get the centre midfielder? Will we get both? At the moment, I've got to be totally honest, it looks as if it's just going to be the midfielder, but I would like to believe that we would maybe get the winger as well, because I do think we need both. Before the window closes, that is for sure. Hopefully have some special guests on later. Don't forget, 3:30 this afternoon, I'm live with Ben Jacobs, transfer special. He'll keep us live and up to date. Fran's there as well. Hopefully get Fran on maybe for the evening show. Kevin Campbell on later as well, hopefully. So it should be a good day, and let's hope Arsenal get some business done, because we need it. We really, really need it. So let's see what happens. You know what? Let's get straight into transfers, people. That's all we're here for at the moment. And it looks as if Arsenal's main target and the main guy that we are potentially going to sign, and it's all over the place today, it's Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Louise. Now, I'm sure many of you will remember him. This is the guy that scored a corner against us last night. So I'm sure this will be a great talking point if he signs for us later today. Douglas Louise, a player that we were linked with last season, never really materialised, and he looks as if he could be leaving Aston Villa today. Now, he's 24 years of age. Douglas Louise plays for Aston Villa, 8 caps for Brazil, and he was actually at Manchester City for a short period of time in 2018. So Mikel Arteta will have actually worked with him before while he was at Manchester City. City signed him from Vasco da Gama. They sent him out to Girona, that is one of the clubs that they own over there in Spain. He ended up signing for Aston Villa. So there is already a connection there. And I've got to be honest, I mean, Fran's saying it. I like him, people. I like him. I've got to be honest, if you said to me at the start of summer, Douglas Louise, I would have been like, good, but can we get better? At this stage in the window, with 12 hours to go, I think this is a very good signing by Arsenal. And I said this yesterday after the show with Fran and Laurie, that I don't think Arsenal are looking for a ball-playing central midfielder. I don't think they want somebody that replaces Granit Xhaka. Do I agree with that? No, I don't. I think we should have gone for a Milinkovic-Savic or a Tielemans or somebody like that. But I think they want to keep Granit Xhaka as that ball-playing midfielder. So I think they're more looking for a number 6. I think they're looking for somebody that can go into that role if Thomas Partey is out. Maybe we go away from home and it's a Man City away, and maybe you have to play 2 defensive-minded players and make us a little bit more solid. For me, with 12 hours to go until the window shuts, I think this is a very good signing for Arsenal. He's a big upgrade on Mohamed Elneny. Elneny is the guy that tends to come into that 6 role if Thomas Partey is not available. We know that Sambi Lokonga came in and did well yesterday. But for me, I think this is a good signing. I really do. I think he's a good player. 24 years of age, experience, physical, can get on the ball. He's a Brazilian international. And this deal for me is a very, very smart signing. I want to know your thoughts. In fact, let's get a poll out there. Neil said we need a 6 more. So Douglas Louise is the perfect fit. I'm going to get a poll out. I want you to let me know if you're happy with this signing or you find it a little bit underwhelming. Somebody said they're underwhelmed with the signing. Maybe you wanted that creative player more. I just think because of Thomas Partey, they want a 6 more. Are you happy if we sign Douglas Louise? Me personally, I'm very happy with that signing. At this stage in the window as well, very difficult to get a player who's going to massively improve us at this stage. Maybe they should have planned and gone for somebody else, but I think it's a very good signing. Latte said he is quality. I think he is. I think he is very strong, very physical. Take set pieces, as we found out the hard way last night as well. Guna Paul, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, Big C, it's cool. Still doing the World Cup stickers with my stepson, and we got Tillemans. It's a sign that he's coming. Keep well, Big C. Yeah, listen, I might do the stickers for the World Cup this year, you know. Could be a good one. Ash said it was interesting that Louise didn't celebrate the goal last night, and Jesus was chatting away with him after the game, the Brazilian connection. Yeah, he just seemed to turn around when he scored. But obviously after the game, him and Gabriel Jesus, they were covering their mouth and speaking to each other. He was probably like, bro, you know, you want to stay at mine tonight? You're going to need to be here for your medical tomorrow. I think personally a good signing. One thing I would say, and listen, I would question why Edu and Arteta still feel for another year that Granit Xhaka shouldn't be upgraded. I know Granit Xhaka is in good form at the moment in this new role that he's playing, the Gundogan role, a little bit more freedom, ability to get forward. That's fine. I just still really find it strange that Arsenal haven't been looking to upgrade Granit Xhaka this season. Why have they not gone for a ball player? They absolutely love that guy. They said it last year they didn't want to upgrade him when Edu did the interview with Jeff Shreves. I'm just really surprised they didn't do it this season. I think we could have gone and got an upgrade, a Milinkovic-Savic or somebody. Listen, I know it is difficult to address everything in one transfer window, but I am very surprised that they've sort of gambled on Granit Xhaka for another year. James Bond said, Big C, I'm not happy with Louise. I won't get excited just for anybody like the past years. Listen, I respect your opinions. Not everybody thinks Douglas Louise is a particularly great signing. I think at this stage in the window, it is a good signing, and I do think he's an upgrade. I would say Douglas Louise is better than Sambi, is better than El Neni, plays a different role to Xhaka, but certainly better in the 6. And listen, I always say, and I say it all the time, availability is the best ability. Now, Thomas Partey is, for me, better than Douglas Louise, but we know he's injury prone. So Douglas Louise is going to feel like he can maybe get Thomas Partey out of the team because Thomas Partey's injured all the time at the moment. Latte said, please stand up if you hate Man U. Well, we have to stand up. I thought you was going to say Tottenham, but we'll stand up for Man United as well. Graham said, Curtis, he might not be the player we really want to be. He is extra squad depth. Is he better than El Neni? That's what we need to ask. Absolutely, all day long, he's better than El Neni. All day long. I've got no doubts about that. 100% better than El Neni. Alfred, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said everybody wants a creative player when we've got ESR, Vieira, and Odegaard. City, Liverpool, Chelsea all won because they have always got that guy who protects their back line. Yeah. I think that we're a lot of the... Well, I'll speak on behalf of myself. You talk about ESR, Vieira and Odegaard. They're all kind of players for me that play between the lines. They're all kind of number 10/number 8s. I don't think any of them necessarily can go into that double pivot and play next to Thomas Partey and create the way that maybe a Ruben Neves or somebody like that could have played. So we do have creative players, just not necessarily in that kind of deeper lying playmaker role, which I think we've lacked. Probably since Santi Cazorla, to be honest. So yeah, we do have creativity, but not necessarily in the middle of midfield. DJ Sweet said Xhaka is just a quality squad player. I really don't get Edu and Arteta, especially Edu with the way he played and who he played with. Baffling. Listen, I would say Edu was that left-footed player in midfield as well. ultimately it's not Edu's choice. That's one thing we have to make clear. That decision goes down to the manager. If Mikel Arteta is a big fan of Granit Xhaka, which he clearly is, then he can't be replaced even if Edu wants to replace him. But yeah, a massive reliance on Granit Xhaka for another year. Aussie Guna said we have plenty of creative mids. Douglas Louise makes a lot of sense. Javi said he's not better than Thomas Partey, but better than all of our alternatives. And I don't think Arsenal want to sign a player that's better than Thomas Partey. They want Partey to be the main man when he's fit. But I think this is... Listen, for me, you know me, people, I don't mix it. If I'm not happy with a signing, you know about it. I think Douglas Luiz is a very, very good signing for Arsenal at this stage in the window. If we'd had the whole transfer window to plan it and get it done, I'd be saying good, but I think we can get better. With 12 hours to go until the window closes, I think that's a very, very good signing. And I personally am very happy with that. He scored from a corner last night. So, yeah, better than the corners we were getting from Saka. Latte said, solid Premier League 6. Totally agree. Totally agree. Being linked with Atletico Madrid and Chelsea today as well. So, yeah, I think he's a very good player. Apparently, yeah, people saying his wife is like some supermodel or something, so people getting excited about that. Louise and Zaha and I'll be celebrating. Listen, you get Zaha tonight, I'll be at the Emirates tonight, people, popping bottles outside. I'll be dancing like Robbie on deadline day, I'll tell you that. Let's get a little bit more... There we go. It kicks me out of stream. StreamYard, what are you doing to me there? I'm trying to get more details and you throw me out. I'm back, people. I'm back. Apologies. I don't know what they're doing to me here. I'm trying to get more detail on Douglas Luiz. I don't know why it threw me out. But Douglas Luiz, Ornstein has confirmed it. Villa remain adamant, though, that Luiz is not for sale, but is believed the player wants to leave. Now, the story I wanted to bring you was this. Steven Gerrard... oh, wow. In fact, we got breaking news here, people. We got breaking news here. This is what you get on Shaw Sports News, people. Forget Sky Sports News. Hector Bellerin is close to joining Barcelona. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. How on earth has Hector Bellerin got that move? Jesus. And now, we know that they've let Sergio Dest go to AC Milan on loan with an option to buy, which indicated that they were going for a right back. But Di Marzio, who is a very big transfer guru, has confirmed Hector Bellerin is close to joining Barcelona. What a move. He must have really impressed last season at Real Betis. Obviously Spanish, former player of Barcelona, came through their system. How much are we going to get for him? I don't really mind. I'll take a meal deal from Tesco at this stage. Get him out the door, 100 grand a week, and no more Hecky B. Listen, I don't want to be disrespectful, right? Hector Bellerin came through the system, and there's no doubt Hector Bellerin was a top young right-back prospect when he came through. As soon as he got injured, seemed to take his focus off football a little bit, was never the same player. But I tell you something, his agent has pulled off an absolute miracle if he gets him a move to Barcelona. That is phenomenal. I saw last night that Real Betis said they were no longer interested in him as they couldn't afford him. But isn't it interesting, people? Just a few years ago, they were talking about £45 million for Hector Bellerin to go back to Barcelona. How much are we going to get for him now? I would imagine this could even be a free transfer. Barcelona have been throwing money around all summer. What's the betting we don't get 1 pence for him? But listen, he needs to go. We need to get him off the wage bill. So Di Marzio confirming Hector Bellerin is close to joining Barcelona. Breaking news there, people. Keep it locked. Shaw Sports News. It's not even on Sky yet. But anyway, we move. What I wanted to talk about was Steven Gerrard. And also, we got more breaking news here. Alex Crook, who works for TalkSport. Not always the most reliable, but apparently he's just said on radio, Arsenal have made an opening bid of 20 million plus add-ons for Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz. 20 million plus add-ons. Now, I've got to be honest. Year left on his contract. can they get much more than that for him? Is he worth more than that? With a year left, how much are they really expecting to get for him? I'm not sure. But Alex Crook confirming on TalkSport, Arsenal have had an offer of 20 million plus add-ons for Douglas Louise put in. Will it be accepted or rejected? Knowing Arsenal, they'll probably reject it. But let's hope that deal gets done. We need to get this deal done, man. And let's hope it is done. So, it's all kicking off, people. It is all kicking off. And keep it locked. Lots is going to be happening today. That is for damn sure. And as it develops, we'll keep going through it. Hector Bellerin looks as if he's on his way to Barcelona. Absolutely unbelievable move for him. Steven Gerrard confirmed last night that Douglas Louise could leave the club. He was asked about his future. And Gerrard seemed to add fuel to the fire. Gerrard was in his press conference and Gerrard said on Douglas Louise, on his future last night, he said, I'm not in control of that. That will be Douglas, his agent, and what happens around that. It's one of those really touchy situations where the club has to do what is best for the club. He went on to say that he wanted to keep him, but that it could possibly be a case of having to let him go with the fact he doesn't want to sign a new contract. So, listen, the deal is there to be done. Will we have an offer accepted for him? Only time will tell. As I said, Alex Crook saying that we've made an offer for him. I'm just trying to find out now if has this offer been accepted. I would imagine they have rejected it now. Obviously, there's breaking news as well. Aston Villa have offered an initial £10 million for Wolves midfielder Leando Dendonca. The agreement is now close. If completed, it could open the door for Douglas Louise to join Arsenal. That is Sammy Mokbel of the Daily Mail. The news is just flying in, people, as we're here. Dendonca on his way to Aston Villa, £10 million from Wolves. If completed, that could open the door to Douglas Louise to join Arsenal. So maybe it could be a case of Aston Villa saying, listen, we're not going to accept that offer until we get a replacement. So even though, I mean, I'm reading here, people, there are reports that this Douglas Louise bid has maybe been rejected by Aston Villa. Although some people saying it hasn't. But there are reports that the deal has not been accepted yet. Apparently it's £20 million plus £5 million in add-ons. It's all over the place. The Sun newspaper now reporting it. Sky Sports just put something up about it as well. Is it a case of them saying, listen, we're not going to accept anything until the replacement comes in? It looks as if Dendonca is on his way in. And I think when that happens, you will see that progress. So, yeah, very interesting. Lots going off as the show happens. And it looks as if things are going to get done today. But listen, I want a winger as well. I'm not going to lie, people. I'm being a little bit greedy. I want more than just the winger. Than the midfielder, sorry. I want the winger. City Blue said Arsenal just had a 20 million bid rejected by Villa. That's football and Alex Crook. So maybe they've rejected it. But I do think they're prepared to do the deal. Probably when Dendonca signs for Aston Villa, they will let him go. And then maybe we can get that deal done, people. Wait for Fabrizio. Here we go. Arsenal are active and that's positive, 100%. Curtis, thoughts on Ainsley Maitland-Niles to Southampton? Listen, he needs football. I think Southampton is a very good place to develop. It's a one-year loan with an option to buy. And, yeah, listen, he needs to develop and needs to go and play football elsewhere. Let's talk about one or two other things. Don't forget, people, Ben Jacobs is live on the show, 3:30 this afternoon. Make sure you tune in for that. He's given an update on Yuri Tielemans, and he is very well informed on Leicester. He's a big Leicester fan. And he said, as reported yesterday, Arsenal have not placed any bid for Yuri Tielemans yet formal or otherwise. The valuation earlier in the window was 23 million, but there has been no movement in the past 24 hours. It genuinely seems like Arsenal are not particularly interested in Yuri Tielemans. And as I said, people, I think we're more looking for the number 6 than the number 8, somebody that can get on the ball and create. I don't think they want that. I think they're putting all their eggs in the Granit Xhaka basket, and they're going to stick with him. I think the only reason that we are actually trying to sign a centre midfielder is the fact that El Neni and Thomas Partey are injured. I think if those two guys were available right now, I don't think we would be buying a midfielder at all. So, listen, count ourselves lucky if we even get Douglas Louise, because I genuinely don't think that we were going to sign one. I think, I'll tell you what my opinion of Arsenal is right now and what I think is going to happen in this window. I hope I'm wrong, but this is what I think. I think when Pepe left, the intention was to sign a winger. All the links were to Neto and Jeremy Pino and all these guys. A few links to Zaha as well. I think Arsenal were going to go for a winger. I think we were only going to sign one player today. I think with El Neni and Thomas Partey getting injured, I think Arteta's looked at it and said, listen, we've got Martinelli, we've got Saka, we've got Smith Rowe, Marquinhos has been promoted, Reece Nelson's back from injury in about 4 weeks. We can survive with those wingers until January, and I think they've moved from the winger to the midfielder. That, for me, without knowing, is what I think has happened. So, me personally, I don't expect Arsenal to sign a winger today. I think they're targeting a midfielder, and I don't think they will sign 2 players. I hope I've got that 100% wrong. I hope Arsenal, whoever, if someone from Arsenal's watching it says, listen, you're wrong, we're trying to sign a winger as well. In my opinion, I think they've switched from a winger to a midfielder because of the injuries, and I don't expect us to bring 2 players in today. But I hope I'm wrong, because I honestly believe we need both. I don't think we have enough strength in depth in the wide areas. I think they'll wait until January. Some of you saying you agree, so big up. It's always nice when people agree with you. But yeah, no movement on Yuri Tielemans, people, and we'll see what Ben Jacobs has got to say at 3:30, see if we can get some more information out of him. Smooth One J said, Curtis, you're wrong. We're trying to sign a winger as well. I hope so. Listen, I hope I am wrong. Listen, I don't need to be right in this situation. I want to see a winger come through the door as well. But I genuinely don't think so. I think it was one and one only. So we'll have to see. Let's have a look at some of the other transfer news, people. We are obviously a football channel as well. And, it is deadline day. There are a lot of things going off today. And a lot of other transfers that are occurring. So Anthony has been confirmed and signed and announced by Manchester United, 100 million. That deal has been announced. Let's talk about a player on his way to the Premier League. And at one stage, we thought this guy was going to become an Arsenal player, and that is Arthur Melo, the Juventus centre midfielder. He's on his way to Anfield to sign for Liverpool. Fabrizio has confirmed Liverpool are closing in on a deal to sign Arthur Melo from Juventus. Full agreement on salary. Work now in progress for a medical later today, as per Di Marzio. Club discussing final details in order to get it done. It's a loan move, apparently with an option to buy at the end of it. 1-year deal. Arthur Melo. We know that Liverpool have had big problems in midfield. And listen, it's a difficult one with Arthur. I got to be totally honest. When he was at Barcelona, I remember his performance against Tottenham. And he was unbelievable that night. And I thought, wow, this guy's got a huge future. He was in the Brazil squad. And all of a sudden, they got rid of him. They swapped him for Pjanic, which I never understood. And that deal was actually investigated. There was apparently it was a very, brown envelopes, dodgy deal. And he went to Juventus, just didn't happen for him, doesn't suit the style over there. And he's on his way to the Premier League. Can he rescue his career? He has struggled for the last few years, but I still think there's talent there. It's just whether he'll suit the Premier League and the physical aspect of it. McLovin said he was the next Xavi. Listen, they were raving about him, but it definitely hasn't happened for him. But he's on his way to Liverpool on loan. So I'm sure Klopp will be happy to get a midfielder in. Latte said, let's get Zaha left wing, right wing, centre forward, and Douglas Luiz, and I'm happy. Listen, we get Zaha and Douglas Luiz. I'll be having a party here at 11 o'clock tonight, I tell you that much. Big up Latte. Jacob, thank you for your super chat. Do you think Louise stops us going for Danilo in January? Yeah, I wouldn't imagine we'll sign two. That is for sure. Both similar positions. And it sounds like Danilo is very difficult to get done in this window. So that's why I think they've moved across. Beresford Productions, thank you for your super chat, bro. Said, we'll do you a favour, Curtis. We'll hammer Leicester tonight. Yuri quits at half-time and the Arsenal deal is done. It's going to be interesting with Yuri Tillemans. They play Manchester United tonight. Will he be starting? Will they get rid of him? Apparently he's sold his house now, living in a hotel. Surely he's done that because he's expecting a move. So we'll have to see. It'll be an interesting game tonight. Could do with Manchester United losing ahead of our game at the weekend. Alfred said, to be fair to the board, the last thing Arsenal fans want is to see us on the FFP list. We won't see any signings for the next 5 years. Listen, Alfred, we have a unique ability that we can't sell players for money, which is unbelievable. Even Hector Bellerin on his way to Barcelona, you know, probably we won't get any money for him. This is a guy that you should easily in this market be able to get even £10 million for him. He's still reasonably young and has had a decent reputation, but we just unfortunately can't get no money. Anthony saying there is no option to buy. I did see one saying there was an option, but fair enough, maybe no option on offer to Liverpool. Jeff said, I really like Melo. Now he is joining Liverpool. Yeah, listen, they needed to get a player in, and it was a big win for them yesterday in the end. Jashar, hope you're well, bro. He said, big up Curtis after last night. The set-piece coach threatened to resign if we didn't sign Douglas Luiz. Also, Zaha is not a real option at this stage. Yeah, we haven't hardly conceded any goals from set pieces, and then Douglas Luiz puts one straight in. When's the last time you saw a Premier League player score directly from a corner? I would definitely be happy with Douglas Luiz coming in. And listen, Zaha, I think if somebody went to Palace today and slapped 40 million on the table and he wanted the move, I think he would leave. I don't think Palace would let him just run down that contract. But I don't think Arsenal are really in for him, Jay. DJ Ash said, Curtis, is Louise good at free kicks as we lack a specialist? I honestly don't know. I was just genuinely surprised that Douglas Luiz was taking corners ahead of Coutinho, because I always thought Coutinho was the set-piece expert at Aston Villa. So the fact Louise was taking corners, that gives me a bit of hope that, listen, if we get him in, and I do think we do lack a set-piece expert, so I would be happy if we got him and he was good. 2,600 of you in the chat. Unbelievable support. You've been absolutely immense for the whole of this transfer window and before that, and long may it continue. Great numbers on the stream last night. Over 2,000 likes on that. Fantastic numbers. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and all of that good stuff. And we'll be back again at 3:30 this afternoon with Ben Jacobs. And hopefully this evening I'll get Kevin Campbell and Fran and maybe a few other people on for the evening stream. Let's continue anyway. Lots more going off. Shaq says, Curtis Bloodclot, sure. Big up yourself, bro. Rochelle said, Douglas Luiz to Arsenal, get it done, can play 6 and 8 and knows the Prem. What I like about Douglas Luiz, he's aggressive. It gives you that physical presence that I do think sometimes we lack, that physical presence. And I would love to see him come in, I can't lie. So, listen, I think that one would be a good deal. There are people saying at the moment that this first offer has been rejected for Douglas Luiz. I think that's a case of Villa just saying, listen, we're rejecting it for now, but they've made an offer for Dendonca from Wolves. Looks as if Dendonca's on his way from Wolves to Aston Villa. I think once that deal is confirmed, Villa come back to Arsenal, negotiate £1 or £2 million probably to fix it, and I think that deal gets done. As I said, people, Douglas Luiz was at Manchester City for a short period of time when Mikel Arteta was the assistant manager. So he does know him, even though he's only worked with him for a short period of time, and I expect that deal to get done. Probably him scoring a corner against us. They probably said, you got to get him in. So we'll have to see on that one. A few crazy rumours going around at the moment as well. That Cristiano Ronaldo could still leave United today and could possibly go to Chelsea or Napoli. Although it doesn't look as if Chelsea are going to need him because of this, people. And personally, some of you may say, you know, you're not bothered with this one. Me personally, I'm not happy about it. Let me end this poll, by the way. 78% of you say you would be happy if Arsenal signed Douglas Luiz today. 22% say no. So the majority of you very happy with that one. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, people. Remember him? David Ornstein has confirmed Chelsea are on the verge of an agreement to sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Barcelona. The latest bid, 7.5 million euros plus Marcos Alonso. The proposed deal is a 2-year deal with a 1-year option based on appearances in the second year. The 33-year-old is in Barcelona, but it is moving towards a conclusion. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang set to join Chelsea. I think he was probably interested in leaving anyway, but as Darren says, the terrible incident that happened on Sunday evening with the robbery, we now know that he's actually got a fractured jaw as he was hit in the face during that robbery attempt. And I think that would have pushed him over the edge and said, listen, you know, we're definitely leaving. He put out a statement yesterday saying that his family, obviously were very upset with what had happened. And Aubameyang looks as if he will join Chelsea. Isn't it interesting? On the last day of the January transfer window, he left Arsenal to join Barcelona, had a fantastic half a season, and 6 months later, he's on his way out of Barcelona, joining Chelsea. I've got to be honest, I'm not happy with this deal. It's never nice to see a player that I think still has talent joining Chelsea. I think Chelsea desperately are lacking a poacher. I don't think they need a striker that's necessarily got crazy all-round game. Lukaku had a lot to offer but was terrible for them. You look at Timo Werner. Timo Werner couldn't finish his dinner, but Timo Werner got so many chances when he played up front for Chelsea because he does have very good movement. Now, I think Aubameyang, one thing that you don't lose as a striker is your movement. And I think him playing through the middle at Chelsea with Sterling and players like that around him, I do think he'll do pretty well there. So listen, good luck to him in his career. I hope he doesn't do well at Chelsea in terms of scoring goals because I think we'll be in a top 4 race with them. But Aubameyang on his way to Chelsea, that deal is very close to completion, people. Going to be interesting when Chelsea play Arsenal back at the Emirates. What sort of reception will he get? Emi Martinez was booed yesterday by Arsenal fans. Olivier Giroud, I remember last season or the season before, he was applauded by the Arsenal fans. Gunnar Paul said Villa offer accepted for the Wolves midfielder Dendonca. Looks as if that one is progressing. It's believed to be 13 million. It did say 3 million initially. I think once Dendonca signs for Aston Villa, Arsenal and Villa will get Douglas Luiz sorted. I think Villa are probably saying, listen, we're not going to sell him until somebody comes in and looks as if Dendonca is on his way in. JSX said, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang celebrated with an Henry slide and has an Arsenal tattoo. Pains me a little for him to be joining Chelsea. Such is football. I think it's one of them. Arsenal, I would like to think we've moved forward. We've signed, in my opinion, a striker that gives us more and that we need more. We need Gabriel Jesus more than we need Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So you have to move on. When you sell a player, there's always that risk that he ends up joining somebody else. I don't think anybody would have expected him to have been joining Chelsea this quick. But listen, let's just focus on ourselves, I suppose, and let's see what happens. Ish said Aubameyang always moves on deadline day. Did he join Arsenal on deadline day? I actually can't remember. Did we get him on the last day of the window? Or was it a couple of days before? But still one of the best signings we ever did in terms of the announcement video and all that. I loved it when we signed him and all of the hype and all of the Mkhitaryan saying, yo, Pierre, you want to come out here? Bit of breaking news, people. Hopefully this is not true, because this would not be good if this is the case. Are they playing hardball here? Phil McNulty has said Aston Villa have no intention of selling Douglas Louise. That is not good news if that is the case. Phil McNulty, let me just double check. Who does Phil McNulty work for? Chief football writer for BBC Sports. So he is a pretty good source, I would imagine. He has said Aston Villa have no intention of selling Douglas Louise. That would be very, very bad news, because now I've kind of got my hopes up that Douglas Louise is going to be an Arsenal player. And is this them playing hardball? Or is this them genuinely saying, listen, we don't care, we're not letting him go? I would say they're playing hardball. The way Steven Gerrard was talking last night, I think he knows that if they get an offer that they're happy with, that the player will leave. So I wouldn't read too much into that. I'm trying to keep everyone's hopes up. But yeah, I would say that this isn't gospel. I think once Villa get their business done, then I think this situation changes. You know, Gerrard's words yesterday were, you know, kind of that he would like to keep him, but it's not in his hands. You don't say that if the board have told you that the player is not going anywhere else. So for me, I think they're playing hardball, but we definitely have to be careful. I would like to think that Arsenal would have a backup plan just in case that deal isn't done. So yeah, anyway, that one, it's all tic-tac at the moment, people. Tic-tac, the window is moving, and David Ornstein has just tweeted, a few of you put it in the comments, breaking news, Aston Villa have now had an offer accepted by Wolves for Leando Dendonca, transfer fee 15 million euros. Permission has been granted by Wolves for the 27-year-old Belgium international to take his medical and complete a move to Aston Villa. And I just think that Villa have probably said that he can't leave until a deal is completed. And for me, I think once this deal is completed, that I think there will be movement on Douglas Louise. Even though Phil McNulty of BBC is saying that, you know, they have no intention of selling him, I think they're probably just pushing for a better price in order to get this deal done. So I wouldn't panic yet. There is a little bit more news. It's developing every minute, people. I might just stay on live all day and just stick to it. But apparently, let's go to another screen. Apparently, Atletico Madrid are now in the race for Douglas Louise, which we do not want that. I can't lie. I want this to be a simple one-horse race and we win the race. According to the Telegraph, Atletico Madrid have had a £20 million offer put in for Douglas Louise. It's been thought that a fee closer to 30 million would be enough for Aston Villa to sell. However, the club have informed him they have no intention of letting him go. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Villa, I'm hoping they're just playing hardball and maybe trying that Arsenal or Atletico Madrid come back with a bigger offer for Douglas Louise. I hope they're not genuinely just saying, listen, we're not letting him go no matter the price, because we need him. We need somebody like him. If we don't get him, who are the other options? If we came out of today with no new signings, no centre midfielder and no winger, I would genuinely say that could cost us top four, in my opinion, because for me, I don't think we have the squad depth. I genuinely think that our backups are not good enough. If we get a midfielder and maybe even a winger, I would say it would be a fantastic end to the transfer window. So we'll have to see. Latte saying Douglas Louise would pick us ahead of Atletico. That would be interesting. Who would he go to? I mean, they've got Champions League football, Simeone, but the fact he's worked with Arteta when he was at Manchester City, and the fact he plays in the Premier League, we've got a lot of Brazilian players now. Maybe it would be an interesting one. He's got a model wife. Would she prefer to live in London or Madrid? Would be interesting. A lot of people saying that the offer from Atletico is old. It's not from today. Let's see. Fabrizio has tweeted, it's moving, people. It's non-stop. It's absolutely non-stop. Here we go. Let's get off this screen now. Fabrizio has now tweeted 1 minute ago. Big up to the community for these little updates as well. Arsenal are prepared to reach an agreement with Douglas Luiz on personal terms. Douglas is keen on the move, work in progress, negotiations still ongoing between the clubs. Not an easy one. I mean, he hasn't told us a lot there that we don't know. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are focused on him. They made an offer for him, so obviously they must be focused on him. So we'll have to see. Kev's in the building. Yo, yo, yo. Kev in the building. I need to drop you a message, bro. He said, Big C, it's going to be a crazy deadline day. Hopefully we get some business done. I'm repping on Sky Sports 3 until 5. Cool in the gang style with the Dicky Bow Thursday. Big up my brother, Kev. Kev, I'm going to drop you a message. I'm on at 3:30 with Ben Jacobs. It'll be a short show. And then I'll tune in to you straight afterwards. But if you're available this evening, it would be great to get you on. I'm gonna be on tonight, probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30 tonight. So I will drop you a message on WhatsApp. So let me know if you're available this evening. He'll be on with his Dicky bow tie on Sky Sports this afternoon. You gotta get the bag, Kev. You gotta get the bag. Make sure they pay you well, I'm sure. But big up to Kev in the chat. Appreciate your support as always, bro. But yeah, it's an ever developing story today. So yeah, Fabrizio there, listen, he's not saying nothing that we don't know. If they've made an offer for the player, then clearly we're focused on him. I'm sure personal terms wouldn't be a major problem. Let me have a look here. How much does Douglas Luiz earn? Douglas Luiz wage, according to Sport Rack, who are usually very accurate, Douglas Luiz is on £32,000 a week. I mean, listen, in the context of regular life, obviously it's a lot of money. But in Premier League football, in terms of wages, 32 grand is absolute peanuts. You know, we can double that, treble that without even thinking about it. You know, we got man like Bellerin who was on 100 bags a week. So listen, you want 100 grand a week? Light work, get yourself to the Emirates. And we've got a good little Brazilian connection there. So it sounds as if, according to what people are saying, and Fabrizio, Douglas Luiz wants the move to Arsenal. But as I said, the last couple of reports are saying that Aston Villa don't want to sell him. I think the deal is there to be done. Aston Villa have just had a fee agreed of £13 million for Dendonca from Wolves, which would indicate he would be the replacement for Douglas Luiz. He plays in the 6 role as well. So I would imagine that Villa are just playing hardball to get a better deal. Arsenal apparently offered 20 million plus 5 million in add-ons. According to the last report, they want 30 million. So maybe if we get to 25 million plus 5 million in add-ons, that will probably get us there. Harlex said, love how Super Kev is easy and supports the channel. Listen, people, Kev is a legend, honestly. I say this all the time. And me and him have had plenty of debates on football and opinions. But how many former Arsenal players are in this YouTube space supporting, you know, regular football fans doing YouTube channels? The guy never asked for a penny to come on. You know, I tried to get Frimpong on once. Do you remember Frimpong, who played centre mid for Arsenal years ago? Dench, Lethal B's cousin. And I tried to get him on. And listen, Kevin Campbell had a way bigger career at Arsenal than Frimpong. Frimpong was like, yeah, I'll come on. I've seen your show. Appreciate it. It's like, yeah, coming on. Get him on the show. Literally the morning of coming on, he was like, oh, this is how much I'm going to need to come on the show. And let me tell you, people, it weren't no little 40, 50 pound. I'm talking hundreds. And I was like, you know what, bro? It's not even that time. If I'm paying, you know what I mean? I need to be getting Thierry Henry for them numbers you're asking. So I've always got nothing but respect for Kev, man. So I'm going to message him now, actually, and see if he's about later. Let me know if you're free this evening to come on. Big win last night. There we go. There's a message to Kev. Let's hope we can get him on later. And make sure you tune in. He'll be on Sky Sports later, people. Yeah, Dench, man. He wanted a Dench pay packet to come on the channel as well. Listen, I get it. The game is the game. Some of these, man, they're just like, they just charge you as if they were going on a TV channel, you know, which that's probably what he would have charged to go on TV. But sometimes you got to remember, you know, we're just regular fans doing YouTube channels and stuff like that. So it is what it is. But this window is developing minute after minute, people. 3,500 of you in the chat. Thank you very much for the support. Basically, where we're at is that Aston Villa have signed a replacement and Arsenal want to get the deal done. They've had an offer of 20 million plus 5 million in add-ons rejected. Apparently they want 30. The Telegraph saying Aston Villa are adamant Douglas Louise is not for sale, even though the player has indicated he will not sign a new contract. Terms for a 3-year deal had been agreed at the start of the season, but since then, Louise has changed his mind. He doesn't want to stay. Listen, for me, I don't see Aston Villa keeping a player that they can get 20 to 30 million pounds for and allowing him to run down his contract. You've got to remember, Aston Villa, only a few years ago, were in the Championship in massive financial difficulty. I don't think that they can afford to just let him run down his contract. You look at it as well. He was on the bench for them last night. They clearly must know that clubs are being linked with him. And the fact that they're signing Dendonca, who plays in a very similar role. They've got Kamara as well, who played last night, who's a defensive midfielder. I think they are doing this business today with the freedom of selling him afterwards. Maybe, I think they're probably looking for 30 million. I think they're probably, if we get to 25 million plus 5 million in add-ons, then I think Aston Villa accept this deal once Dendonca has signed. Dendonca's on his way to Villa now to do his medical. I think once that's tied up, Arsenal will speak again, put the offer up a little bit. I think Douglas Louise becomes an Arsenal player. As I said, he's on £32,000 a week, which is peanuts for Arsenal. They could easily probably give him 70, 80 grand a week, and he'll be all over it. Gunnar Paul, thank you for the super chat, said, Big C, I'll be honest, even with just Douglas Louise signing, I'm not positive on top four. We still need a winger and a Tillemans. Depth will be an issue. Listen, I totally agree. We should sign a winger today. We've let Nicolas Pepe go. There's no way on earth that Arsenal should have just let Pepe go and not brought somebody in. I know they've signed Marquinhos, but he's a bit of a wild card and a young player. Reece Nelson's back from injury in 4 weeks, but I don't think he's good enough. I think Arsenal should have signed a winger. The fact they went for Rafinha earlier in the window, we clearly went for Pedro Neto. Is it a case of Arsenal saying, listen, we can't get our number one target and we're not prepared to compromise? I think they wanted Neto, but the price is too high. We've spoken about Zaha, but I genuinely don't think that Arsenal really want Wilfried Zaha. So I think they're going to take a gamble, but we've got to at least get one in. I really hope we get two in, though. I really do. Smooth One J, he's 24, Douglas Louise, so still a very good age. He's a Brazilian international. Me personally, I'd be very happy with that signing. I think he's a good player. 3.5, in fact, we're up to 3.6k watching on YouTube. Unbelievable numbers. 54 of you watching on Twitch as well. Thank you very much. Incredible support on the channel. I was planning on just doing a half an hour show this morning, but you know, things are developing every minute, so we're going to stay on for longer. I will be back on at 3:30 as well with Ben Jacobs. And as I said, if we get any breaking news during the day and, you know, a deal happens, we're going live straight away. So make sure your notifications, make sure you click the notification bell, because if we get breaking news, we go live at any time of the day. Kai said we are turning into Brazil FC. I don't mind. I don't mind. Bring Samba settings to Arsenal, man. If you're going to, you know, we had a lot of success in the late 90s and the early 2000s with the French connection. We had loads of French players, and look at the success that we had. If we go to Brazil, then I'll take Brazilian players at Arsenal all day long. I don't mind, as long as they're top quality. You know, we don't want Andre Santos and players like them Brazilians that we've had over the past few years. So yeah, we'll have to see. Lots going off throughout the day. One thing that I wanted to talk about actually was the boy Danilo, who we know that we were linked heavily with him yesterday. Danilo of Palmeiras. This one looks as if it's not going to happen. It looks as if Palmeiras have stood firm and just said, listen, if you don't pay what they want, that they're not going to let him go. He's very highly rated. There is actually a story coming out of Brazil that they believe that that they will get far more money for him in the next window, and they're not prepared to sell him at that price. So yeah, I don't think that one's going to happen. Yasin said, Curtis, please reach out to Balaski, ask him to talk to Zaha. Listen, I'll tell you the truth, right? I've known Yannick for over a decade, and Yannick and Zaha are both massive Arsenal fans. I used to go and watch a lot of Crystal Palace games. You know, Yannick would get me tickets. Spoke to him, spoke to Zaha numerous times. And obviously, when we tried to sign him back in 2018, was it, when we signed Pepe? I was obviously trying to get little updates. And everything I was hearing was that, you know, Zaha is desperate to join Arsenal. He loves Arsenal. He's a massive Arsenal fan. Like us in the comments and me, he loves Arsenal. He's a boyhood Arsenal fan. He was desperate to join Arsenal. The problem was that summer, Palace had a valuation of Wilfried Zaha, and it was believed that Arsenal could afford to pay that. The problem that happened that summer, Man United paid £50 million for Wan-Bissaka that summer. So all of a sudden, Crystal Palace were going, oh, maybe we would have taken 50 million for Zaha, but we just got 50 million for our right back who's had one good season. So they said, we want 80 million for Zaha. Also, as Rumi is saying, they had a 25%, was it 20 or 25? They had a sell-on clause at Manchester United. So if they sold him for 50 million, they were only getting like 38 million for him or whatever it was. So they needed 70, 80 million to make the deal worthwhile. The problem was Palace apparently were asking for around 50 million in one payment up front, with the other 30 million in add-ons, whereas when we signed Pepe, we only paid 15 million up front and we paid the rest on some Klarna business. And you're right, Darren, Wilford signed the new deal the year before, which was a massive mistake. And I think he got caught up at the time. He was in great form for Palace. You know, he was playing well for Ivory Coast. They offered to make him their highest paid player in Crystal Palace history, and he got caught up in the hype. He should have been patient and just waited. Where clubs would have got him much cheaper. So yeah, Zaha, listen, like I said, he's got a year left on his deal. I think if somebody paid 35, 40 million, you would get him. But for some reason, clubs seem to be put off by the fact that he's 29. Is Douglas Louise a CDM? Preferably a 6, but can play a little bit further forward as well. But definitely would be more of a Thomas Partey replacement, I would say, rather than the creative midfielder. But I think it would be good for Arsenal because also it gives us that ability to maybe go away from home to some of the more difficult grounds and play with two absolute rock solid players in central midfield. So yeah, listen, I still think the deal will happen. Got to be honest, but is a difficult one if Villa are being stubborn at the moment. So we'll have to see. Ben Jacobs now confirming the Aubameyang deal is virtually complete. Medical this afternoon. We'll obviously talk to him about that when he comes on the show this afternoon. Ben Jacobs tweeting, Aubameyang deal is virtually complete. Chelsea have already scheduled a medical for this afternoon. Rafael Leao won't be possible unless Chelsea pay 150 million euros. Milan have told this to Chelsea 3 times. Edson Alvarez remains the priority after Aubameyang. That is the CDM, central defensive midfielder from Ajax. Used to be a centre-back. I used to always sign Edson Alvarez on Football Manager, actually. But Ajax have absolutely cleaned up the market this year, man. They got 100 million euros for Anthony, 56 million for Lisandro. They sold Gravenberch for 25 million and now 43 million possibly for Alvarez to Chelsea. That is what you call serious business. Joshua Yannick Bolasie run down the wing for me. Yannick Bolasie. Them two, honestly, I used to watch them two play sometimes. I said, I've never seen players treat the Premier League the way those two used to treat the Premier League. It was cage football. It genuinely was inner city London cage football. How many times can you nutmeg the defender? How many times can you flick it over the head? It was an absolute joke. It really was. Ao Gumedi said, maybe you can explain it to me, Curtis, but why do we need a centre mid to make top 4 when we have cover there? We need a winger and a DM, that's it. I mean, no, Douglas Louise would be the DM, in my opinion. He would be that DM. So I do think he is there. And in terms of, yeah, we definitely need a winger. But I just don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I wish it did. But doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, yeah, I appreciate the super chat. For me, Douglas Louise would be that DM. He is a DM. He played DM for Brazil. He's played DM for Aston Villa. And, yeah, I think that's where he would play. He would be the Thomas Partey challenge to get in that role. He would be the upgrade on Mohamed El Neni. So, they're talking about Aubameyang on Sky now. Medical is scheduled for this afternoon. Looks as if he will be flying in to London. And, yeah, I don't like that deal. But, listen, we've been prepared for it the whole window. Dwayne Ellington, thank you for the super chat, said Villa done deal, 13 million Dendonca. Fabrizio has confirmed. Yeah, listen, it was... I think you will see this Douglas Louise deal open up now. I really do. So, yeah, we'll have to see. I think Leicester have signed somebody as well. Interesting. Just to give that Wilfried Zaha deal a little bit of, well, what should we say? A little bit of spice to it. Crystal Palace have just had a £25 million offer rejected for Ismail Assar from Watford, who is a winger, although Ismail Assar does usually play right wing, where Zaha tends to play left wing, so doesn't necessarily affect it. But they have had an offer turned down. I suppose he would play right wing with Zaha on the left. But does it mean they're looking for a winger because they maybe think he might leave today? We'll have to see, people. We will have to see. Let's get into a bit more news as it develops. Charles Watts has just tweeted regarding Hector Bellerin. Bellerin to Barcelona is progressing. Not done, but told it is now really close. Talks ongoing with Arsenal about how the deal will be done. Agreement between clubs or termination. I mean, one thing I'll say about Edu, man, you got to learn how to sell players, man. I mean, Barcelona have literally paid money for everybody this summer. They couldn't buy anyone, and all of a sudden, every player they've brought in, they've paid for. How much are you betting that Hector Bellerin goes there for absolutely nothing? And yeah, like somebody said there, why not take a player of Barcelona in a swap deal? You know, Memphis Depay, they've been talking about getting rid of him for nothing. Take somebody off them. They got loads of players there. So, yeah, but looks unlikely at this stage. Bellerin, honestly, he is going to owe his agent the biggest, bottle of champagne or something. How on earth has Hector Bellerin got himself a move to Barcelona? Honestly, I thought he was absolutely washed up and finished. And looks as if he's nicked himself a move to Barca. So, yeah, Fabrizio was confirmed. Full agreement now sealed between Aubameyang, his camp, and Chelsea. 2-year deal, 1-year option. It was almost agreed a week ago. Now sealed. Fabrizio confirms Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is signing for Chelsea. Deal done. Oba to Chelsea. That is definitely an interesting one. That is for sure. Bellerin on his way to Barcelona. But listen, I suppose on one hand, Arsenal will be looking at it. It's 100 grand a week and a player that we don't want off the wage bill. If he goes to Barcelona, then it is what it is. Jitesh, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, big up Big C and the community. Good win this morning. If we don't sign a midfielder, it's Arsenal therapy settings. Love from Sydney. If we don't sign a player today, it's Arsenal therapy tonight, about midnight. Because I'm sorry, there's no way they should not be signing a player. We should be signing 2 players today. Never mind 1. So it's all going off, people. Bellerin on his way to Barcelona. Aubameyang on his way to Chelsea. Deal done. One Love said, Aubameyang will 100% flop at Plastic Chelsea. I'm not so sure, you know. I don't think he'll rip the place apart. But I think he'll do well. I got to be honest. I think Chelsea, you watch Chelsea play, they're desperately lacking a goal scorer. And I think he'll score goals. I don't think he'll score hatfuls, but I think he'll help them. Arsenal fans, how do you feel about Aubameyang to Chelsea? That's my tweet. That'll get mixed responses, I'm telling you. But I want to tweet it. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Listen, let's hope. From a footballing point of view, I hope he goes there and flops. I like Aubameyang. You know, I've always been a fan of him as a player. But listen, he's been through a lot, and it was always going to happen. So, yeah, Oba to Chelsea, man. I never saw that happening earlier on in the window. If you'd have said that to me, I'd have said no chance. But a 2-year deal as well, or a 1-year option, yeah, that's an unbelievable contract. 33 years of age, getting a 2-year deal with a 1-year deal. With a 1-year option, sorry, is an unbelievable contract. So, yeah, great bit of business for Oba and his agent. But, yeah, it's all going off at the moment, people. It's all going off. I'll see if anything else is happening. We've been on for an hour. And I'll round up and we'll be back at 3:30. Lukaku Yang. You know what? I hope so, Scott, but I don't think so. And do you know why? Because Lukaku, as a big man, he needs a certain style of football. Where Oba, to me, is just a poacher. I think Chelsea will tell Oba, you ain't got to play left wing. You ain't got to run all over the place. Just play central. You got Sterling over there. You got, I don't know, Pulisic or whoever that side. Just play the width for the 18-yard box. So I think he'll do well there. I honestly do. But listen, we need to make sure we handle our business. And our business is going to require, at least for me, I want 1, but I would love to see 2 signings. I'm just quickly looking back over Danilo and that story that was developing yesterday. It looked as if he was the main target. Looks as if Douglas Louise now. Sammy Mockbell confirming the story on Arsenal's interest in project signing Danilo. The club didn't anticipate moving this summer, but injuries have forced an attempt to bring it forward. It's a tough one to do so late, and because Palmeiras are under no pressure to sell, and then he puts an update on El Neni and Partey. The story has developed further. Reports coming out of Brazil is that they don't want to sell him. I did read a report this morning that they believe at Palmeiras that this Danilo is going to become a superstar. And they believe if they hang on to him for a little bit longer, that they will be able to get a far bigger price for him than the 20-25 million being linked. He's got a 75 million release clause, and they're in an important competition for them at the moment. Looks as if he may leave in January or even next summer. So Danilo doesn't look as if he's going to join Arsenal in this window, people. Craig said Tuchel will play Aubameyang to his strengths and not left wing back like Arteta did. Schulz said, Big C, I think you might need to stay on for the whole day. I'm tuning in while working. My day is going so quick. I have to admit, people, we've been on for an hour and 3 minutes. Sorry, it's absolutely flown by. My plan is to come back on at 3:30. But as I said, if anything happens sooner, we'll be straight back on. So I need you to have your notifications on. It may not be like before where I can give you, 3 hours or 2 hours to let you know that a stream is coming. It could be a case of, an offer's accepted and we go live within 2 minutes of that happening. So make sure you keep locked in. Charles Watts now tweeting, Villa are adamant they're not selling Douglas Louise. Let's see how much Arsenal try and test that resolve, given he's out of contract at the end of the season. I think the situation we're in right now is it's a bit like poker to see who folds first. Villa are saying, no, we don't want to sell him. We'll keep him and let him run down his contract. But let's be honest, he's not going to want to stay, and they're not going to want him to walk out on a free at the end of this window. I just don't believe they're willing to do that. They're a club that over past years, they've had financial difficulties, so I don't think they're going to do that. Alfred, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it as always. He said, Chelsea have a bad record of strikers. Torres, Lukaku, Loic Remy, Demba Ba, Eto'o, Havertz, Werner. Yeah. I suppose, listen, you can throw in Drogba, Diego Costa. Those were the two massive success stories in terms of strikers. I think Giroud was a pretty good backup striker when he went there. But yeah, they've had a lot of bad ones. You can throw Batshuayi and people like that in there as well. So listen, I hope Aubameyang goes there and struggles, of course, because we need, this is a club that we're probably going to be challenging with in terms of top four people. Arsenal Fans Channel said, Tielemans, please. You know what? Before we round up the show, I'm going to quickly go over yesterday's game and just probably go through player ratings just quickly rather than doing it later on, because yesterday the game will be, later on the game's going to be irrelevant, and the transfers have gone a little bit quiet for now. Obviously, Arsenal won yesterday 2-1. Gabriel Jesus, Gabrielle Martinelli and Douglas Louise, 3 Arsenal players potentially with the goals there. What I liked about yesterday's performance was the quick response. Louise scored in the 74th, Martinelli in the 77th, and we stayed top of the league. It wasn't always pretty, but it was job done, and we move on to the next game. I'm going to quickly go through the player ratings. The transfer situation has gone a little bit quiet for 5 minutes. So I'm just going to go through it quick. Just throw your shouts in there for what you're going to go for. And yeah, it was great. Big up Snake Eyes, 3-point collecting again, top of the league. As 50 Cent says on Window Shopper, the top feels so much better than the bottom. So much better. Man, you're a window shopper. Mad at us. I think I know why. Hey, we got to do what we got to do, people. Aaron Ramsdale, 5 out of 10. Straightforward. You should never concede from a corner like that. Some people said, he was being impeded by the guy. I'm sorry. Goalkeepers are told, don't get in a wrestling match with a player. Get around him and get the damn ball. I don't know what Tomiyasu was doing at the near post as well. But that was a bad goal to concede. I was actually praising Ramsdale throughout the game, saying he's having a good game. Some people saying it's a foul. For me, I don't think so. I think all he was doing was backing into him. He should have got away from him and gone and collected the ball. Yeah, another impression. Curtis Shaw, Curtis Jackson, whoever we need to be, we can go there, people, We do what we have to do on this channel. Apologies. Apparently, I missed a super chat. Big up Josh Shaw for throwing it in there. I do want to find it to bring it up because I always feel a bit bad if I haven't brought it up. I can't even see it. So many comments. 3,600 of you in the chat. Here we go. Big up Jay said Barca will sign Bellerin, then sell him to Betis. Wouldn't surprise me. Probably get 20 million for it. 5 out of 10 for Aaron Ramsdale. Should not be conceding from a corner. That was a bit of a shambles. Ben White, Benjamin. I thought another good performance. Got to be honest, he looked solid. A lot of people now starting to say that he's sort of part of the reason that Saka isn't playing well because he doesn't overlap. However, he's not a natural right back. He was never going to do that. So I'm going to give Ben White a 7. I thought it was another good performance. He was solid. And I thought it was a good game. He came off with about 15, 20 minutes to go to give Tomiyasu some minutes. But I thought Ben White, listen, that's a good point. Is Ben White actually better at right back than centre-back. He looks very solid at right-back. I know he's going to have some tougher tests and, playing against Son and Sterling and players like that may be more difficult. But even against Wilfried Zaha, he played really well. E. Ross said the Tattoo Merchant, 7.2 out of 10. He did really well. Dan said Melo to Liverpool. I think at this stage on loan, that's not a bad signing. In my opinion, just briefly, I think Liverpool have got a deal in place to sign Jude Bellingham next summer. And I think that's why Liverpool don't want to sign a midfielder permanently now. I think get him on loan and they'll probably get Bellingham next year. But Ben White gets a 7. Solid performance. Kieran Tierney, I thought, had a much better game yesterday. I'm going to give Kieran Tierney 7.5. I'm going to give him the 0.5. He played one terrible ball in the first half. And after that, he was much better. Put some good crosses in. He overlapped Martinelli. And I think he had a much, much better game yesterday, Kieran Tierney. I thought he was solid, and I'm giving him a 7.5. I thought he had a much, much better game than he did at the weekend, and I was impressed with Tierney yesterday, far better. Still probably doesn't have the same quality on the ball as Zinchenko, but Zinchenko is a natural midfielder. And listen, I want people to understand that when I'm giving constructive criticism of Tierney, it's not me saying I don't rate him. I just think Zinchenko offers something that maybe we need more sometimes than what Tierney is doing. But Tierney is a better defender. Maybe, some people saying don't spam crosses too much. When you've got Jesus going against Mings, you don't need 20 crosses a game. Anthony said definitely Big C. Jude is absolutely a Liverpool player come next year. I think he is. William Saliba did well yesterday. I wouldn't say it was his best game of the season, but by no means his worst. He did get a booking a couple times. I thought Watkins gave him a few problems. But listen, it was still quality. The goal had nothing to do with him. Got forward, 7 out of 10. Rolls-Royce just continued to do what he's been doing the whole season, really. He's an absolute beast. And his quality form continues. I don't think it was his best performance of the season, though. A couple of times Watkins rolled him, but still quality. Let's go to Gabrielle Magalhaes. No booking. And I saw Saliba, as James said, he was bantering Gabrielle's hairline after the game, which I love things like that personally. It tells you that the team spirit is good and the two of them are getting on well. And I love seeing that. Gabrielle, I thought, was solid yesterday. Was Gabrielle the better of the two yesterday? I feel like he might have been. I think Gabrielle was the better of the two, if I'm being honest. Didn't get booked, wasn't rash. I'm going to give Gabrielle 8 out of 10. I thought he was the better player. I remember last time we played against Villa, I'm sure he got sent off once against Villa, or he definitely got booked. But I thought he played well yesterday. I thought he was actually better than Saliba. And I'll give Gabby an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really good performance from him. Let's see what you're saying. Sambi Lokonga, this is an interesting one. Sambi, I thought, had a very good game. I really do. I was in on the Bambi Lokonga shouts last season. There was a lot of pressure on him because he played in the 6 role that Partey plays, and I wasn't sure he could play that role that well. I thought he was better, a little bit more advanced. I thought Sambi had a good game. It wasn't a fantastic game. It wasn't a game where you're like, oh my God, what a player. But it was solid, It was solid. He played passes forward. I thought he was better in the first half. Solid in the second. I'm going to give him 7.5 because he was under pressure. Villa had a very physical midfield yesterday. You look at the tackles that were being put in from Kamara, from McGinn, from Ramsey. Gerrard had them fired up yesterday and really, really physical. And I thought Sambi did well. I thought he showed that he's got more to his game than El Neni going forward. And I thought it was a good game. And if we don't get a midfielder in, I think against Man United, he needs to be playing instead of El Neni. El Neni will probably be injured anyway still for that game. So he did well. Elbowed John McGinn, 9 out of 10. South London's fine, he says 7. Played some good balls. And Darren gives him a 7. Granit Xhaka, I thought Xhaka had a decent game yesterday. I thought, again, this new role suits him perfectly. The Gundogan role, free him up and allow him to get forward and play. I think that really suits him. And I thought he was protected well by Sambi Lokonga. And listen, I thought it was another good performance. He got well. joined in. Can he produce those performances against the better teams will be the question. I would have given... I had 7.5 written down for Xhaka. I thought he had a good game. I was tending to give Sambi the higher rating because he hasn't been playing and he stepped in. I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he had a good game, Granit Xhaka. He's in the chat. He said, Xhaka 10. You have an agenda against me. I'm unsubscribed. Granit, Xhaka. Oh, my days. He played well. He played well, definitely. I'll give him a 7.5. Moet said, Xhaka, 7 out of 10. Played well. Sometimes needs to take another touch. MC said, Xhaka, good game, an 8. And Tony gives him a 6.5. I give him a 7.5. Martin Odegaard, the captain, he came off injured, got a bad tackle on his ankle yesterday, and came hobbling off. And I thought he had a good game. Maybe not as good as the weekend's game. The sunshine wasn't out, so Solar Guard was not firing, but Lunar Guard, as we were calling him yesterday. I still thought it was a good performance. Got on the ball, played a fantastic pass in the first half into Gabriel Jesus. I felt he faded out of the game. Villa were very physical and probably didn't suit his game that much in the second half. Did fade a little bit and came off with that injury. Hopefully that's nothing that's going to keep him out for the United game. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a good performance, but did come off with 20 minutes to go and did fade a little bit in the second half. Hopefully his injury is nothing bad. 7 and 8. Some people saying really good first half, faded second half. Villa were very physical. That game doesn't ideally suit him. Bukayo Saka. I've got to be careful how I rate him because I've got to be honest, right? I watched the extended highlights back. I didn't watch the whole game. And he was involved in a lot of the things that we did well. So I don't want to like hammer him and say, you know, he was poor because he wasn't. But he certainly isn't playing at his best. He did set up Martinelli's goal, so I've got to give him a little bit of praise for that. Because he got the assist and he was involved in a lot, I'm going to give him 6.5. I don't think it was his best performance again, and I just don't think he's in good form. I'm intrigued to see what you give him. Ed said 6. Moet said 5 just because of the assist. Would have been a 4. Adriano says 5. Dre said 6.5. I've been generous. I would have given him 5.5, but the assist gets him to 6.5 because that assist gets us the win. So I still think he deserves a lot of credit for the assist despite not playing well. Moses gives him a 7. Cole 7. Bahir 6.5. James said he's playing at 50% of his best. Still 3 assists in 5 games. Sachs gives him 4.8. Ray gives him a 7. Guna Legend, he missed a sitter. I remember Oba missing an open goal and being annihilated for that. Saka's was probably a bit more difficult, but has to score. D said Saka 6 as being average. Give him a 6 for the assist, but loses the ball too much. I agree. He is losing possession far too easily this season. Going on some good runs, no doubt about that. But the end product is not as good from Saka. 6.5 for me. And I think I'm being generous there. End product is not top notch at the moment. Saka is form is temporary, class is permanent. Listen, 2 years in a row player of the season. I'm sure once he gets a goal, he'll find it. Gabrielle Martinelli, for me, his best performance of the season. 9 out of 10, man of the match. All that game was lacking was the goal. He got the goal. It was the winning goal. BT Sport gave man of the match to Jesus. The Arsenal website gave man of the match to Gabrielle Martinelli. For me, Martinelli was the man of the match. I thought he was a constant threat. Matty Cash is a decent right back, and he gave him a torrid time. And I thought he was fantastic. He deserved that goal. Took the goal well on his left foot. And a brilliant, brilliant performance from Gabrielle Martinelli. Really impressed with him. If he can play at that level. And what I've been saying, the last couple of games, I thought he played a little bit desperate. Like he was too desperate to score. Yesterday, he was calm. He let the goal happen. It was natural and it was fantastic. I thought he was absolutely brilliant yesterday. The volley that he pinged to the top corner. If that goes in, that is one of the goals of the season. Great save from former goalkeeper Emi Martinez. But man of the match for me, Gabrielle Martinelli. Electric performance. 8.5. Latte says 9. Kofi says 9. Smirky 9. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I really did. I thought he was brilliant. I think that's his best performance of the season. And he needs to continue at that level. I think if he can continue at that level, then it's a big player for us this season. I really think so. It's his season to blow up, I think. So yeah, massive performance from Martinelli. Man of the match for me. Let's talk about Gabriel Jesus. BT Sport gave him man of the match. I think what it was is the way he led the line. He got the goal. He's given us a lot up front. 3 goals and 3 assists in 5 games. 6 goal contributions. Gabriel Jesus is, I can't thank Pep enough for this signing. 8.5 for me. One of our best players again. Led the line. The way he was turning Mings. The work rate is fantastic. He got a goal, could have scored another one. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's got an infectious personality and work rate. And somebody just said there, I think he's lifted the level of Gabriel Martinelli. You can see that those two have a very good understanding and connection. And I do think we've seen an even better Martinelli since Gabriel Jesus has joined the club. And that's what top players do, people. They lift the level of the dressing room. And I think Gabriel Jesus has been an incredible signing. We've just got to wrap him up on cotton wool and make sure he stays fit. In terms of the changers, Tomiyasu gets a 5 for me. Because for me, I think he could have done more about that corner. He's standing in no man's land and doesn't do enough for me to stop that corner going in. Desmond with the super chat said 6 and 7 for Saka is still a bit above average, but it's really bad that we have players now that can take the pressure off. No, it's good. It's good that players can take the pressure off him, but we still need him to perform, and hopefully he will. Yeah, Tomiyasu for me gets a 5. You watch that cornerback, I don't understand what he's doing. As a defender on the front post, that's your job. Maybe he wasn't told to get on the post, but once that corner's bending towards the post, he's got to adjust his feet. You know, he doesn't move at all and the ball goes in. So I'm giving him a 5. He was all right outside of that. Smith Rowe came on for 9 minutes. It's just a standard 5-6. And Rob Holding and Nketiah came on for 2 minutes. 5-6 for them. And Nketiah went on a couple of good runs, actually. But his shot at the end, unfortunately, was lacking. So yeah, that's it. And Mikel Arteta, again, I'm going to give Mikel Arteta credit, and I'm going to give him 8 out of 10 again. He made a lot of substitutions late, but at the end of the day, we won the game. He picked the right team, in my opinion. And listen, I think in the end it all worked out. So Mikel Arteta, fans were brilliant again. Looked like another great atmosphere at the Emirates. And yeah, the situation continues to develop. Anyway, let's get back to transfers, because that's all we're bothered about now. That's the end of the game. And Arsenal remain top of the league. Arteta gets another 8, which is, he weren't getting these numbers last season, so enjoy it while you can. Couple of bits of news regarding the players we're being linked with and players potentially leaving. The Athletic saying when word reached Pep Guardiola in 2018 that work permit issues were preventing Douglas Louise from playing for City, he sent footage to the Home Office explaining how Louise would be an important player to his side in the months and years ahead. That's interesting. So Pep was desperate to keep Douglas Louise in 2018 at Man City, but the work permit issues meant that he had to leave, and we weren't able to keep him at the club. Or Man City, weren't able to keep him at the club. So, listen, very highly rated, of course. And I'm just trying to keep updated on all what's going off. There's so much going off. Fabrizio now confirming about Hecky B. On his way to Barcelona. Absolutely incredible move for him. I thought his career was disappearing. Barcelona are getting closer to signing Hector Bellerin. The player is just waiting for the final call to join Barca and then sign the contract. He is not accepting proposals from Italy to join Barcelona. Of course, they let Dest, the right back, leave to join AC Milan, and they need another right back. And it looks as if Bellerin will go in and challenge with Sergi Roberto for that right back spot. Unbelievable move for Hector Bellerin, who I genuinely thought his career was going down the pan. How has he got himself a move to Barcelona, Champions League football, and all of that business, people? Sky Sports now putting up breaking news that Arsenal have made an offer for Douglas Luiz. And this is the thing, you know, that Sky have to report these things a lot later. Fabrizio as well now reporting Leando Dendonca to Aston Villa, done deal, and here we go, 13 million fee agreed, and that deal is happening as well. In my opinion, this deal is going to make Douglas Luiz sign for Arsenal, in my opinion. I think they were just waiting for the replacement, and then they were going to go and get that deal done. So, yeah, I think this deal will free up Douglas Luiz to join Arsenal. As I said, people, Douglas Luiz earns £34,000 a week, or is it 33? £32,000 a week. So it's an easy deal for Arsenal to get done in terms of wages. We've seen the reports that the player wants to join. It's just a case of Arsenal agreeing a fee with Aston Villa. Once that happens, then I think that one will be done. One thing that's worrying me today, well, not worrying me, but disappointing me, absolutely no links to any winger whatsoever from Arsenal. Nothing about Zaha, nothing about Neto, nothing about any winger whatsoever. And looks as if we're just purely targeting a centre midfielder. As I said earlier in the stream, I think Arsenal were looking for a winger once Pepe left. But I think once this injury problem kicked in with El Neni and Thomas Partey, they changed the direction from a winger to a midfielder, which is disappointing for me because I genuinely think Arsenal should be signing a winger and a centre midfielder. And it looks as if we're only going to get one. I think they would have probably looked at it and said, you've got Martinelli and Smith-Rowe on the left. You've got Saka on the right. Marquinhos is the wild card. Nelson's back in 4 weeks. That's 5 wingers to get you to January. We're in midfield. I think they think we're a little bit short. It's also a massive gamble because of the fact, like you said, Eros, I was just about to say it, we are putting all our eggs on 2 strikers. And if Gabriel Jesus gets any kind of injury, then it only leaves us with Eddie Nketiah. Now, Eddie looks decent off the bench. He's an impact player, that's for sure. But could Eddie hold it down for 2 months if necessary? You know, I'm not sure he could. I think in an ideal world, Arsenal should have signed a striker as well. But listen, maybe because of financial fair play, maybe we can't get everything done in one window, unfortunately. So it looks as if it will purely be a centre midfielder. But will we get Douglas Luiz done? Aston Villa saying that they don't want to sell him, but the fact that they are signing a replacement would indicate will indicate that there is a player there that they can't get in this window. I just saw a report, sorry, it threw me off track, that AC Milan are lining up Gabrielle Martinelli if Chelsea sign Rafael Leao now. They've got absolutely no chance. Italian media reporting AC Milan will attempt to sign Arsenal attacker Gabrielle Martinelli, valued between 40 and 50 million euros. I mean, I don't know what they're smoking over there in Milan. You'd get his left leg for 40 or 50 million euros, my friend. So, yeah, they can relax. They want 150 million for Rafael Leao, but they think we're going to sell Martinelli for 50 million euros. Yeah, good one. One of our best players, my friend. That has absolutely no chance. So we'll get that nonsense off the screen before we even talk about that in depth. That is definitely not happening. There's nothing else at the moment, people. It's all gone a little bit quiet. So I'm going to go and get some lunch. Arthur Melo on his way to Liverpool. He'll sign on loan for the season. Leicester have signed a centre-back, Wout Faes, from Reims, the team that Balogun plays for. Douglas Luiz, we've made an offer. It's believed to have been rejected, but still looks as if the deal could happen. Villa have signed Dendonca as a replacement from Wolves. Apparently, Villa want 30 million. We've offered 25. Fantastic show, people. I'm going to take a little break. I will be back at 3:30. Make sure you like this video. 3,600 of you in the chat. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back at 3:30 with Ben Jacobs, transfer expert. So we'll try and get some info out of him. Keep your notification bell on. If we get any big breaking news, I will be going live straight away. So make sure you are locked in. Let me just check, because people saying Sammy Mockbell has just tweeted something. Let me just check that before we get out of here. Has he said anything? Arsenal have now submitted an offer for Douglas Louise. Understand it's in the region of 20 million. Yeah, nothing we didn't know really. Although Sky are not confirming whether it was rejected or not, but TalkSport saying that that offer was rejected. Anyway, people, enjoy your day. Keep it locked. I could go live at any time. If not, I will see you at 3:30 with Ben Jacobs for a transfer special. Enjoy your day, and Arsenal, get some players signed. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you all later. Bless!